He guided mankind into all truth. All your problems, bring them, bring them, bring them. Brother Swaggart, he writes beautiful books. Homosexuality, Sodom and Gomorrah, pornography, alcohol, beautiful works. I recommend them to you, these books. Not all, but these books especially, I recommend them to you. Read them, very good. But there are no solutions. You see, alcohol, I dealt with it last night, I think, by the way. He says in this book, alcohol, he says 11 million drunkards in America. 11 million drunkards, he says. These are his terms. In my country, they don't call them drunkards. Especially the whites, you can't call them drunkards. They'll punch you on the jaw. You have to call them alcoholics. They're sick people. See, when you say drunkard, it's very, very pungent, strong. Can you say drunkard? But when you say he's alcoholic, the person is sick. So he needs some treatment. 11 million, these are words of Brother Swaggart, drunkards in America, and 44 million heavy drinkers. And he says, to me, no difference between the two. To me, they are the same. Whether you call them drunkards or you call them heavy drinkers, to me, they are the same. I say, mashallah, mashallah, praise be to God. We have such a brother who speaks like a Muslim. The only thing is, I said, look, go one step further. To solve your problem, you have to go a step further. I said, include your social drinkers as well in that list of yours. Because the Holy Prophet Muhammad made no distinction between these three groups that you are thinking of. You've got the drunkards, you've got the heavy drinkers, and you've got social drinkers. The Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, whatever intoxicates in greater quantity is forbidden even in smaller quantity. No excuse for a nip or a tot. Finish, out. He said, strong words, he said, cursed is he who grows grapes for brewing. Growing of fruit trees in Islam is an act of virtue. Bless him. Allah will reward you. Whether you plant fruit trees for selling the fruit or for eating it, Allah will bless you. He'll reward you. He said, on one occasion, he said, you see, if you get sure knowledge that tomorrow 12 o'clock at noon, the earth will be doomed, finished. It's coming to an end. Yawmul Qiyamah will set in, 12 o'clock tomorrow. And you were supposed to plant a fruit tree today. So what must you do? It will take 7 years for it to bear fruit. 7 years. He says, plant the tree. Allah will reward you. That mighty messenger of God, he said that if you plant grapes for the purpose of brewing, not for eating or selling, but for the purpose of brewing, like my place in the Cape, in South Africa, we have what is called the Mediterranean climate, and grapes grows beautifully there. That's the best wine growing country in that area. And you inherit 100 hectares of land, 200 acres of land. So what am I going to do? I said, plant grapes, the wine. But I said, who's going to buy it? I said, don't worry, there's a winery there, there's a brewery there. Unlimited amount they are prepared to buy from you. I said, right. If you did that, the Prophet of Islam says, cursed is he who grows grapes for brewing. Cursed is he who crushes it. Cursed is he who bottles it. Cursed is he who sells it. And cursed is he who drinks it out. No, you have nothing, no truck with that stuff. This is Islam. And your solution to the problem is this, total abstinence, said the Prophet of Islam, on instruction from Allah, revelation of God in the Holy Qur'an. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, so you believe. Innamal khamru, most certainly intoxicants, wal maisiru, and gambling. In his book, one of the books says, the American public is spending $54 billion a year on gambling. Squandering. 54 billion. And gambling. Wal ansabu, and fortune telling. Wal azlamu, and idol worship. Rizum min amali shaitan, are an abomination of Satan's handiwork. Fajtanibuhu la'allakum tuflihun. So shun such abomination that you may prosper. And wine barrels were emptied in the streets of Medina, never to be refilled. This one verse has created the biggest society of teetotalers in the world. People who don't imbibe alcohol. Biggest society in the world. One word, one expression. Brother Swaggart is talking about, he says, you got to threaten the Muslims, chopping off his head. chopping off his hands. Therefore, they don't drink.
The person does not drink because he fears his hand will be cut off, or his toes, or his nose, or whatever.
Is that the reason? I want to know, you in America, the Muslims. I know we have black sheep amongst us, like any community has. We all have. You can't say we are all angels. But what percentage of Muslims imbibe alcohol? In India, Pakistan, South Africa. My community, I'm boasting in my country. Perhaps it applies everywhere where the Muslims live. I said, we Muslims